Well is brought to you by Pine Rest Christian Mental Health Services.
This segment is sponsored by Pine Rest. We've been hearing so much in the news lately about the opioid epidemic, and indeed it is an epidemic. Here's a statistic for you. In 2016, 2.1 million people had an opioid use disorder, and more than 42,000 people, about 116 people per day, died from an overdose. That is dramatic, and the folks here at Pine Rest are experienced in helping to deal with this epidemic, and I am joined by John Budnick, physician assistant here at Pine Rest, and Stacey Williamson Nichols, who is a social worker here. And thank you so much for inviting me over.
Thank you for having us.
So let's talk about this epidemic. The statistics kind of bear it out as quite serious. What is it? What are opioids first?
Well, opiates are very strong addictive chemical compounds, and that's something 15 years ago we probably would not have said. And without getting too technical with different neurochemicals and involving different neuroanatomy, the comparison that I would like to use is sort of the post-workout euphoria or the runner's high. We all know that after an intense workout, we feel better, right? We feel energized, we feel happier, we feel a sense of well-being. Well, opiates produce that same physiologic benefit, except they're 100 times stronger than our natural endorphins. That is one reason why opiates are so addictive. Another reason why opiates are so addictive is that they not only mitigate or lessen physical pain, but they also lessen emotional pain. And by emotional pain, I mean patients who are struggling with depression, anxiety, symptoms related to trauma, find secondary benefits from being prescribed opiates. It's not that these patients are running out wanting to get high. It's that these patients are covering up psychological symptoms and pain, and that leads to them self-medicating with opiates and then going on to develop opiate addiction.
I understand a very good percentage of the people who die are in. They have been prescribed these medications, as you described. They're not getting them on the market or something like that. They're getting them from their doctors.
That is correct. But I think it's important to note that prescribers do not cause opiate addiction. Now, could a prescriber be less than scrupulous with their prescribing patterns? I think the answer is yes, but 50% of your risk for developing opiate addiction lies in your genetics, and the other 50% is underlying psychosocial factors.
So what is this about people switching over to heroin? They have a proclivity to do this?
Well, it really boils down to cost and accessibility. With the increasing attention on the opioid epidemic, there are less prescription opiates available on the streets. And although that might sound like a good thing, and it is, that doesn't help the current 4 million people who are addicted to prescription opiates. No, they're in survival mode. They're going to be turning to whatever substance they can to alleviate physical pain, cravings, and withdrawal discomfort. And unfortunately, that substance is heroin. And the scary thing about heroin is many times it contains additives and adulterants. And these additives are like synthetic opiates, such as fentanyl and carfentanil, which are 100 to 10,000 times stronger than morphine. And that is why heroin is so deadly, and that is why we're losing 91 people a day from this devastating disease.
And that heroin may be easier to get a hold of, too, I'm guessing. Okay, let's talk about Pine Rest, because residential detox is a big part of the way that you serve people in this situation.
We do. We offer a broad range of services, starting from individual, which would be least intensive, up into our residential, which is most intensive. And it's designed to really help people be met where they're at. So if somebody was to come in to talk about services, we would work with them, take a strong history, understand what's going on with them, understand their symptoms, work with their insurance, and meet them where they are at with the right service. In addition to that, because like John was saying, this is such a devastating disease and has cost people their lives and has affected families, we offer family services as well, both individual care and family group. This disease holds not only the addict hostage, but their family as well. And what we're trying to do is to treat the person with addiction within their larger network and to start healing some of the pain that this disease has been causing.
And so is the idea detox first, gut through that piece of it, and then access many of the other services that you provide? Is that kind of the journey?
It can be, absolutely. For certain people, detox is where they absolutely need to be at. They're not able to stay and remain sober on their own. There are too many things in their environment that make it risky for them to stay in the community. Some people don't, and we are able to help manage them in the community. It really is an individual, person-by-person basis.
Thanks, guys. If you would like to learn more about the services provided by Pine Rest or about the opioid crisis, you may find that information on our website. Go to WZZM13.com. You'll find it there.